Hello guys, my name is Spyros Katsos and today we're going to talk about cancellation tokens. First of all, let's imagine the following scenario. We have an application, that's our front end, that's our API or our backend, and that's our database. Now the user goes to the main page and then goes to the customer page, which lists all the customers. So we'll send our request to the API. The API will send a request to the database to get back the data. The database will return the data and the API will return the data to the client. And that's the expected behavior, that's what we want. But now let's imagine the following scenario. The user goes to the customers and immediately goes back to the main or to the contact page for whatever reason. Maybe it went to the customers by accident, he meant to click the contact or changed his mind, or even decided to go to another web page, or even close his browser. Now there is no one listening for the response of the API, but that operation of our API talking to the database, get the data from it, map them to a response and send them back, will still happen, and that's not something we want. We don't want to waste all those resources since no one is there to get the response. And let me demonstrate to you that is what will happen. So I'll open Rider and I have a cancellation tokens demo, and I have a customers class with an ID, a first name and last name. I have an app DB context with a DB set of customers. I also have an exception middleware to handle any exception, and in my handle exception method I can switch over my exception and return the appropriate message. For now I have a default case only that I log the exceptions and I set the status code to internal server error. In my program.cs I register my appdb context and my appdb context, and I also, as you can see, I use an in-memory database. And finally, in my controllers folder I have a customer controller in which I inject the appdb context, and I have a get endpoint in which I wait for 1 second so I can later cancel my request, but we will talk about that later. Then I get all the customers from the database, and that will be an empty list of customers since I don't have any data, and then I return OK with the customers. So if I debug that and I'll open Postman and I have already the request, and if I hit send I will get back an empty array. Now let me put a breakpoint in here after we get the customers, and I'll hit the send back, but I'll cancel my request. As you can see, we hit that breakpoint, we have our customers back. So we went through the database, we get back the customers, but there is no one waiting for a response because we have cancelled our request. If I hit continue, nothing will happen. And that's where cancellation tokens comes into play. Let me stop the app. And let's see how we can use a cancellation token to save those resources. So first of all, ASP.NET supports out-of-the-box cancellation tokens, so we don't have to do anything fancy. We can just accept the cancellation token, so cancellation token, and we just need to pass it down to our DB context. Cancellation tokens are not specific to database operation. We can use them with file operation, streams, etc. But today we're focusing on databases. So I just pass the cancellation token. That task.delay complains because it can also accept the cancellation token, but we won't pass that there. And now our database will know when that request has aborted and will stop its operation. So let me put a breakpoint again after we get the customers. Let's debug that again. I'll send a request, I cancel it, and nothing happens. As you can see, we didn't hit our breakpoint, and that means that we didn't get the customers back from the database. Now let's go to our exception middleware and let's put another breakpoint, let's say in here after we have the exception, and let's debug that again. And let's hit send, let's cancel the request, and as you can see we hit our breakpoint, so we had an exception. That exception, as you can see, it's an operation cancelled exception, and that's something that will be thrown when we cancel a database operation. And now in the place where you handle your exceptions and do something based on the type of the exception, you can do something else. For example, maybe you don't want to log them, so you can say case operation cancelled exception and just, I don't know, break, since the status code does not matter because anyone will get the response back. So let's test that again to see if we will hit that breakpoint. Let's send, let's cancel, and we hit that breakpoint since the exception is an operation cancelled exception. Now, if you want to make an in-depth video about cancellation tokens, other use cases, or maybe how to use them from a front-end perspective, let me know in the comments below and I will. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a nice one.